In 2012, the Tory party of Great Britain and Northern Ireland betrayed the National Health Service in 10 key ways. Public satisfaction in our NHS is today at an all-time low. This is all the more striking because the previous year public satisfaction in our NHS was at an all-time high. This is testament of the damage done in just 1 year by David Cameron. Amongst his greatest errors was to sack more than 7,000 nurses. A total of 42,000 NHS staff have lost their jobs, but the frontline sacking of 7,000 nurses is impossible to justify. Jeremy Hunt defended the loss of jobs in the frontline by saying that the nurse-to-bed ratio had improved, and technically speaking he's telling the truth. However, this is only because he managed to axe 11,000 hospital beds, and therefore by logic increasing the nurse-to-bed ratio. The King's Fund and the Care Quality Commission both reported that accident and emergency waiting times in 2012's third quarter were at an 8-year high, and the last time we saw them that high was 2004. The UK Statistics Authority boss Andrew Dilnot in early December rebuked Jeremy Hunt and David Cameron for persisting with their promise that year-on-year spending had increased in real terms on the NHS. This is a lie, this is incorrect. Andrew Dilnot found that spending had remained broadly unchanged since 2010. 2012 we also saw £1.2 billion of clinical negligence payouts. The average claim takes about 1.3 years, and so most of these payouts would have occurred relating to events that happened after 2010, and I suspect we will see this grow year on year because it's a natural consequence of efficiencies and cuts that more mistakes are made as greater pressure is put on the remaining staff and resources in the NHS. In addition, a Labour Party NHS check report as well as the National Audit Office both found that access to treatments is being restricted. So smokers and obese people, for instance, are being prevented some treatments. Women over 35 are now being prevented access to IVF treatment, for example, and a whole host of operations such as cataracts, hip replacements, etc. We are now seeing serious reductions. In addition, several chunks of our NHS have been privatised. Community health, for instance, in Surrey, children's services in Devon, 2 acute hospitals have been either privatised or are now in the process of being privatised. Pathology services, more than 400 chunks of local community health under any qualified provider. The list goes on. In August and September of 2012 we also saw management consultancy firms sent into 7 NHS trusts to really take control of their books and to make financial decisions for them. In each case, the cost of consultancy is run into many millions of pounds, and usually the advice at the end is to sack staff and cut services. So we're paying them an awful lot of money to do very little but bring doom and gloom. And I've kept to the very end the most shameful act of betrayal that the Tories have inflicted on the NHS in 2012, and that is the failure to publish the risk register. We as people deserve a chance to mitigate against the dangers caused by the Tory NHS carve-up. We deserve that chance, and the only way we can do it properly is to see what the risks are, and we'll never know. Despite a judge at a tribunal ordering them, despite the Information Commissioner ordering them, the Tory party point blank refused to let us know what those risks are, and it's a travesty. And the British people will get their chance to pass judgment on it one day soon, I hope. Thank you very much for listening.